You know, if we're being honest, everybody has propaganda. No matter where you look, no matter where you are in the world, every country, every nation, every military will have their own kind of propaganda. Some are more obvious than others. And of course, depending who you ask, some can be good propaganda and some can be bad propaganda. It's really just up to the person. It's definitely not up to me to determine that. Even here in the US, I mean, I love the US, I love America, but of course we've got our own propaganda. And even when you look at the Russia-Ukraine war, both sides have their own kind of propaganda, and the thing is, there was a video game released on Steam yesterday, and you're probably wondering why I just took that turn there. It's a big jump from talking about propaganda with different militaries to a video game. Well, the thing is, this video game that was released yesterday on Steam is actually apparently a part of Russia propaganda. Specifically, it is embraced by this group in Russia that is completely funded by the government, basically called the Young Army. When you look into it and you read everything about it, it kind of is essentially like a way to get younger people in Russia, I guess, more interested in patriotism and the Russian army. It sounds like it's more geared towards men and boys. You know, me personally growing up, I was in the Boy Scouts. That's maybe a little bit different. They taught us how to make a fire and fish and, I don't know, avoid bear attacks. They didn't really teach us about like the army or how to shoot a gun. I guess things are a little different in Russia, but yeah. Sounds like that's essentially the gist of this group. So apparently this group is fully supporting this new game, but even more so, they're apparently using it in certain trainings for the Young Army group. Alright, so this is a game called Squad 22 ZOV. It looks like it's free to play. It was just released yesterday. It says that it is based on real wartime experience of living Russian veterans of war in Ukraine. It says it's also about modern conflict, small infantry groups with some armored vehicle and drone support, as well as real events story. Yeah, the translation might be a little off there. But yeah, essentially it's a game that I guess is about the ongoing war, obviously from Russia's perspective. This is kind of the description they give, and on the very bottom in bold letters, that's where I think this is very interesting. It says, the game is officially recommended by the Russian military for use as a basic infantry tactic manual for cadet and young army training. Young army, or how they say it, Yun Army, again, that is that group I was talking about. So yes, like I said, I guess they are apparently using this game to train their members. So of course I was curious. I had to look at the screenshots, so I'm just going to show 3 of them here. These are from this new game, Squad 22 ZOV, and I have to say right off the bat, I thought that it looked very interesting, actually like a very cool looking game. I've never really seen a game that looks like this. I mean, I don't even really know how it's played, but it's like from a bird's eye view. And I thought, wow, yeah, this is like a, you know, maybe a Russian propaganda type game, but wow, they kind of just like created their own formula here. It actually looks kind of cool. Well, then I saw that everybody was mentioning this door kickers game, that I guess this whole game is basically just a cheap knockoff, basically a copy and paste of door kickers. Here's door kickers on Steam. It's been around for 11 years, and I think there is a door kickers 2. Here's 3 screenshots from that game, and as you can tell, yeah, it looks very similar to what we were just looking at. In fact, I would say this actually looks a lot cooler, more colorful, and probably a bit more interesting. So thankfully, I really didn't want to download a game that was probably Russian propaganda, but now it looks like I don't have to, because it actually looks like the actual game that it's based off of looks a lot cooler. So yes, in summary, this game was released yesterday on Steam, Squad 22. Basically a door kickers knockoff that is from the Russian perspective and is based on the Russia-Ukraine war. Kind of interesting. I will say as a final note, it is developed by SPN Studio and is published by Zerobana Entertainment. I looked both of them up. I have no really history for both of them that I can find. I'm assuming they are Russian companies, but I really can't confirm that. But regardless, according to them on the official Steam page, yes, this game is being supported by Russia's youth military group, and it's even being used in trainings. Very interesting. But like I said, if you thought it looked cool, you could probably just play door kickers because it looks a lot better.